Papa Ken coming to y'all with another I wouldn't even say hoodoo tip or nothing like that. As you can see, it is a little early, but I just felt the need to really just kind of wanted to get on here and talk about mental awareness, mental health awareness. So a lot of people in the spiritual community, they think that things when you do magic or when you do things regarding spiritual work that is easy, that you can get whatever you want, um, that things can come to you as quickly as you manifest it, and usually that is the case. But what I wanted to say is that um, basically be careful of the manifestations that you bring about with your tongue. There's power in life of, the power of life and death is in the tongue indeed. So I'll give y'all a little story time. And the reason why I'm going with this is because and it kind of ties into my mental health awareness. We have a lot of men that are not at where they should be so far as healing, so far as like accountability, so far as um, taking their actions and leading to a higher perspective within the family unit. There's a lot of unhealed men even in my area. So let me give you a story time as to how this ties in. Last year, and I'm gonna be completely authentic and honest about this because I need to get this out. Last year, I was with my lover, or as most people say, situationship. I don't know. And most we were okay. We would, me and Todd. His name is Todd. When he passed, before he passed, his name is Todd. We were okay around this time last year. We were okay, and it was so funny that one particular day, I think it was before, like let's step back, like last year today. A couple of weeks before, I want to say today, from last year, me and Ty, we went out, we went and ate, we went a little shopping, and I was given a token of appreciation, basically. He basically admit, like I said, I am a brujo. So um I did love work toward Todd. That way I can be loved more, appreciated more, blah 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 blah. That worked. It worked. The thing is, where the problem lied in, the situation with mental health awareness is what I want to kind of get into, is the fact that I was very well aware of how he felt, but I was feeling someone else, okay? At that time, I don't, I guess that was our detachment phase. I don't know what to call it. But basically, I fell in love. I fell in love with someone else, and it wasn't even, it wasn't even nothing that I thought was going to impact the rest of my life. Let's say that, because I've known Todd for maybe like But this was before he passed. I known him for like what 6 years, going on six. It would have been 7 or 8 now, but um, I remember one day that we was riding. We went. I think we had went to the mall or something like that, and he got a chain, and he said that the chain that I'm gonna give you, I want you to hold that as something to remember me by. That always stuck with me, even now, because and the reason why I'm saying this is because it's gonna lead into what I'm trying to say with mental health awareness. When he told me that, it's like I was not paying attention to it. It's not that I didn't appreciate it, but I was oblivious to what he was really coming from. I remember that, I remember the face. I'm pretty sure the facial expression because he wore shades that day, and it was like, well, no, 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 no. We was going to the bank. I think we was going to the bank. Okay, but he told me then. He said, I sometimes I don't act like I appreciate you, or I never really just show it, but I really do appreciate you. You do come for me. You look out for me, and I love you for that and all that. He basically admitted his feelings to me, and the reason why I did the spell work toward him is because I felt like he didn't. And to hear that, it was like, oh, okay. But it wasn't in a pissy, like I wasn't in a bad mood or anything like that. But me being in the court, like I said, I guess when I heard it the first time, it didn't dawn on me like he literally just poured his heart and soul to me. It didn't dawn on me, but um, now while this happened, I had my eyes set for another individual. With this other individual, um, he was so not. He was not the type that I wouldn't even say the type that I go for. It was something about his aura, and it was just, I don't know, it was just something about him. I'm not gonna call this person's name. But basically, I I I kind of fell for him as well, and while all the while of having feelings for Todd. So Todd is deceased now, but it didn't dawn on me that he poured his heart and soul to me, and for me to hear that, I mean, I guess from a year back, looking into it now, because I've kind of been tracking my days to where the day that I actually snapped, and I wanted to know internally why I did that, but we'll get to that. He told me his feelings, but I was obviously head the fuck over heels for somebody else. And this oblivious to who I even was. Let's just. I went to someone that I considered a friend, and she totally. Not only did she tell Fish, like, not only did she tell him what I told her, I guess from what I've heard, or back last year, from what I was told, she exaggerated. She told a lot of lies just to get what she wanted out of the conversation, but it was really to humiliate me. And not saying that I'm a total victim of this, not saying that, or not saying that the other person's a total victim. um I The day that I knew something was wrong, I just knew something was off, because one day, wow, I guess I was trying to gain a friendship with this individual, even though he may not be what I am, but that's cool. Um, the day that I knew something was off is one day, chick and the friend. Well, I won't even say the guy that I was feeling was with her, and I was sitting outside. I was smoking a joint. I wouldn't even say a joint then. I wasn't smoking weed then, but I was smoking a cigarette, and um, she literally asked me out of nowhere. She was like, "You all right? You all right?" And I still to this day I don't know why she asked me that, but for some reason, spirit led me to look toward him. His eyes was literally directed, not looking at me, but all the while walking with her while she was asking me, "Was I okay?" That was a little off for me. And I was like, okay, there's something wrong. There's something that I must have did. I immediately, I think it's when either the fear started setting in or I started to ask questions. And usually, you always follow your first mind. That's when the old folks will tell you always follow your first mind when something's wrong or when there's smoke, there's fire. Now, automatically, you know, I was totally, totally caught off guard by this. Totally. So, um, I knew that this person was angry. I knew that he was upset because, like I said, I'm empathic. I can feel when people are mad, or I can feel when people are just feeling away. I can feel these things. I can feel these things. So, so when I did that, you know, when I did that, when I felt that immediate fear, like something's wrong, I guess, okay, the reason why I'm saying this is because I looked at the transits today, and I think my Mars is literally conjunct the Sun in Gemini today. And like I said, it's leading. I wouldn't even say an anniversary. It would make 1 year where I actually knew I introduced myself to my shadow self. Let's say that. All the while, I was asking questions, about what, basically, why would she do this? I even confronted her. I asked her, I said, did you say this about me and what and what? And she basically told me a lie. No problem, right? No problem at all. But the thing is because what I was told and what I felt knew better. Like my spirits and the people that I associate myself with, they knew better. Um, the problem was that's when I started to become off balance. Like I was very paranoid. I was scared that for one thing, this man was going to hurt me because not only was I vulnerable to him, but y'all, it's so crazy. Um, Now I like to give gifts as a person that's affectionate. I have an Aquarius sun. I have an Aquarius Venus, so some of the things I can do can be a little offbeat. I gave this man a gree bag. I gave this man a gree bag. I will never forget it. Now this was before I told him how I felt, but I think he kind of got it. Like after, fish told the tea. about how I felt, but I remember like one day I had like something in my spirit was just telling me just give him, something. I had to give him something because we started the friendship that way. He gave something toward my nephew. I really did appreciate that. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'll give him this. Not saying that I was expecting affection, and at this point I probably was, because like I said, I did kind of feel for him, and I don't know what else to do other than to give gifts. I have let's just say I have an aspect of Oshun, or Aphrodite, as most people say. I like to give gifts, and I like to give people a gifts of appreciation or whatever, or whatever. It's just the case that I like to give to people. That's one of my biggest pitfalls that I had to learn, was to stop giving to others what I needed. And when I did that, I was steady, steady, steady falling into a line of, well, actually, you know what, we can be together. So I did a spell. No lie. We get into the spiritual shits. I did a spell to attract this person toward me. Now, not only was it confirmed that, it is what it is, blase, blase, blah. He feeling me, or at some point, I don't know what, at this point, it really don't even matter, but at that point, I was on the phone with a friend earlier. I think it was earlier yesterday. We was talking about oh God, what were we talking about? We talked about a lot of shit. Okay, so we were on the phone and we were speaking about how certain men can lie, and how you know there's a reason usually when God and Goddess is trying to take, not take something from you, but keep you from something, is because, like I said, with me being a person that gives gifts of appreciation, I can go overboard. And like I said, one of the pitfalls that I had was the fact that when I'm feeling a person, I go all out. And I remember that I was warned by my uncle. He is deceased. Yes, my uncle comes to me every so often. I don't force it, but whenever I do need messages, or if I'm really in need to talk, I go to my ancestors. But this particular time, my ancestor came to me. He was like, Ken, slow down. Ken, slow down. Like, and the way that my homegirl, the way that she described him, I knew exactly the face he was giving. Like, I know my uncle, so the way she had it was down packed, and he was saying then to slow down because the motherfucker's an idiot, basically. I did not take the warning. Let's say that I did not take the warning. I took my egotistical ass took the route of, oh, okay, it'll be all right, like we just gonna bump, and we gonna do what to do, and I'ma leave, that type of thinking. It was never the case with that. This man is my past life karmic partner. Okay, so let me break down what a karmic partner is. Everybody on earth has a maybe about 100 or 1,000 years before them or so. If you think on the basis of reincarnation, it could be further than that. I don't know, but for some reason, I'll never forget her name. I'm not gonna call her name, but she read the situation and she was like, y'all are from another past life." and I was like, okay. It kind of had me in an exciting mode because it was like, okay, someone from a I was for one thing I was honored because I didn't think I was blessed to even to even get this far to experience that, right? Well, I experienced it, but it was shitty because not on like I said, not only did the chick tell him what I felt, I was paranoid. I was afraid that this man was gonna kill me. I was afraid, like I was very afraid of my I was afraid of my life. And due to the transits that was last year, and the sun in Gemini was literally conjunct when all this shit broke down. Now it's funny that a year later, as everything is a whole lot different, I have no regrets about it because, like I said, when it comes to a past life karmic partner, some shit you gotta leave in the past. Some shit you love them from a distance because to take in account of past life relationships, you gotta think about it. That's past life healing that might need to take place. I wouldn't even say I didn't think of it was oh my god, it was so toxic. So toxic. Like okay, so after I confronted the friend about, asking her did she tell, such and such about how I felt. She told me no, but like I said, my spirits knew better. I knew better, and even the people in the hood knew better because street talk is fast. Okay, and I knew it. I just knew it. I just something in me knew that this chick is playing with me. Like, oh my god, why is she playing with me? Do she not know that I'm finna fuck her up? And it got to the point to where I can laugh at this now because I'm over it, but it got to the point to where like we would literally get into it, like literally get into it outside in front of everybody. Like this was the you can say my Venus is sort of like conjunct the Venus somewhere in Aries, due to my Venus placement. But I was very, 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 very angry at her. And I did not know that my anger could really go there up until, during that Mercury retrograde last year. I was so enraged because, for one thing, I had no job. I was depressed, did not know it. I had anxiety and did not know it. I suffered PTSD due to other people's perception of what a conversation should go like. Basically, it was a lot of trauma back to back to back to back to back to back to back. Okay, a lot of trauma. I dealt with a lot of trauma back to back these past couple years. Not saying that that this one particularly with the past life so karmic partner or whatever, that this was a bag of shit. I'm gonna be honest. This was a total bag of shit. Not saying that I regret the friendship. I really do appreciate the experience because now I can understand what I need and what I don't need. But it was shitty, y'all. It was so shitty. I remember, like, even after I got back, all this basically. Okay, so let me take y'all back. When I became enraged, when I became enraged about what happened, because not only did I feel bad for myself, but I was like, what if this dude just, what if, like, I was worried about the what ifs. I was really worried about the what ifs. What if this man happens to confront me or we have a conversation outside and it gets ugly? And it's never been the case with me and him with that other than us bumping heads. But now, as a gay male, I can tell most other gay males, like, when they're not gay, they're not gay. And that was one of my mistakes coming up. As a gay male, learning myself, that's something that I didn't know that there was a problem up until, last year. Like, I had to accept things for what they are. This man, he's not what it is. Although, he has the energy of, let's just say, he gives off an energy of bi-curious. He gives a bi-curious energy. And I wanted it so badly. Like, that's why we say we have to be careful what we wish for. So leading into that, I was very upset at her of what she told him, because not only, you got to think critically. Okay, if I'm gonna tell you something, I want you to keep this under wraps, because this is between me and you. This is just the type of person I am. I have an Aquarius sun and a Taurus moon. So that means that, not only do I have a lot of friends, but most of my friends don't even know me. Like, I'm very private when it comes to a lot of the things that I hold in, and a lot of things that I go through, because I just never really think that long term to really just speak to someone about it. Like, let me feel it. Or even if something's kind of going on and I don't know what's going on myself, as being Aquarius, I think it's better for me now learning to just cope with it on my own versus letting people know. Because some people can take it the wrong way, and some people can very well indeed manipulate the situation for their advantage. You know what I'm saying? And I felt very shameful for that. I felt very bad, because I felt, not only was I just running, like, some of those moments come up now when it comes to like, um about my lover's death. Like, why did I even choose this dude before the person that I call a friend, a lover, a homie, he left, and I was remaining fragmented about the fact that he left. But this asshole that I actually almost left you for seems to be even worse. So that was spirit's warning about next time. Instead of just rushing in, take your time, because not everything that glitters is not gold. Everything that glitters is not gold. You know what I mean? And I'm proud of that, because I had to come to terms with, who I am as an individual, what energies I give off to other people, what I don't need to give off, what I can give, what I can't give. I was a mess last year. I was doing drugs. I was smoking hella weed, but that kind of goes with my spiritual practice. But so far as anything else, the only thing that I've gained out of perspective is that, life is life, and it happened the way it should have happened, because I couldn't have gotten this far or like had none of that happen. You get what I'm saying? So I'll take you to the day that I snapped. Like I said, the sun and my Mars is in conjunct Gemini, so I'm trying to just remember exactly what I did that day. I went out with a friend. We got drinks. I had some pills in my system. I smoked some good whatever. Um, and I was just all over the place. I was all over the place, and I was very imbalanced. I was drinking, and normally I do not drink. And also the substance abuse, that can be considered a generational curse on a lot of families too. I was i was just all over the place, and I remember, like, when things took a turn for the worse, that's when I became really, really paranoid and really, really distraught about just getting the fuck away because I wanted to hurt the chick so badly. I blacked out for 3 days. And before I blacked out for 3 days, I just want to give my honor and thanks to God and Goddess for holding me near and dear when I had that time and moment in my life because I don't know what could have happened. But I remember coming in the house. I don't even remember being in the house, but I remember being in the house and my mom, she's a Capricorn. Capricorns can be pessimistic and they can be harsh at times. And I remember when, once I got in the house, I was heading into my room and I don't know what was said to my mom, but you know, she basically said along the lines of, yeah, you just mad because you can't have somebody, you want somebody you can't have. And the only thing that came up that I remember that I said was, excuse me? When I said that, everything went blank. So, on top of the substance that I had in my system, on top of the drinking, on top of the I wouldn't even say gateway, on top of the abuse of the spiritual herb that I love, which was the marijuana, I was really all balanced then because I felt fearful, I felt paranoid, and she tells me this. I was like, oh, I guess some part of me woken up and was like, oh no, we not finna deal with this shit anymore. Like whoever this was, this this aspect of myself was not like I have heard before. Let's just put it like that. This aspect of me was very dark. He was very angry. I was like literally I was barking at her, not barking like a dog, but I was literally taunting this girl because I really wanted her throat slit. But I don't even like I said, I don't remember what exactly I did for me to black out for 3 days, but I was just that upset. I was very upset. I know I was upset, and I thank Zombie for giving me balance now. But yeah, I went there, and I'll tell y'all a little bit of what I was told what I did. They said when I got in the home, I remember I was doing some head washes. And the head washes that I use, usually involves milk, rum, and either rice water and oat water. Is how you make your white baths. Most people use cascarilla with it. And I remember, when I did this white bath, I was already under these substances, and it was, spiritually and chemically throwing me off balance as well. And when I did that, I was very, very. I wasn't aware of what I was doing, but I knew I was very angry. I was angry at my mom. I was very angry. When I say I was very angry at my mom, I don't even know what I said to her, but I must have said some very hurtful things to her. I'm pretty sure of this. So, like I said, I remember just hearing her say that, and I was like, "Excuse me." And the next moment that I wake up or can't or come to, um, I was literally having a tug of war with my aunt, bringing me into the police car. Um, I told my aunt that I did not want to go. I don't want to leave home. They're gonna take me to jail. I don't want to go. I was very fearful because when like I said, when I came to, I just remember looking at the police car, thinking, what the fuck happened? Why am I here? What is going on? Like, somebody help me. Like, what am I like? Why am I going to these people? And it's like, I don't know. It was whatever was on me. That literally, I wouldn't say it broke off, but it was literally like, okay, that's enough, sort of, like, so to speak. Like, okay, you had enough. Like, now it's time for you to heal. Now it's time for you to get to yourself, because I was very upset. I'll go in detail of what I did. Unfortunately, I had a statue of Santa Muerte. I had a statue of La Santísima Muerte that I adore so much. And during the time that I was out of whack, I broke her arm. I tore my room up. I don't know. I must have been in that much of a rage for me to take my room and turn it into a cyclone, because I was just that upset. I was just that upset. Just that upset. I was just that upset. So, boom, we get to the hospital. What is Papa Ken, the ghetto brujo, doing in a mental hospital? I'll tell you. It's because of the unhealed trauma that I dealt with from childhood, and from, being molested at an early age. Not only that, you know, just being ridiculed about how I felt sexually about another person, or how I felt romantically about another person. I was tired of that. And, I'm kind of glad I did it, because that gave me a sense of value to say, I value myself versus I value anyone else, because knowing is, I promise you, no one on this earth will ever have the chance to hurt me like that again. Not saying that I didn't put it on myself. I'm not saying that. But I will never give anyone else the chance to get all of me, because it just, right now, whenever the time is right, I'll say like that. But for now, what's been coming up is a lot of old repressed energy. And I've been doing some meditations with Lilith, and it's been coming out beautifully. It's just more so that just to embrace just embrace the darker side of me. And Lilith is not who y'all think she is. She's, they give her the queen of demons, take it as you will. But to me, she's a divine being, and she really listens. If anyone deals with the Goetia, I'm pretty sure people will tell y'all that. That's what we're missing when it comes. That's why we say that the patriarchy and structure of the 20th century or whatever, breaking down, because a lot of people are getting back to that old knowledge of the older gods and all that. So that's helpful. But um, even then, like when I started to Lilith, it's like, I think that was the time I needed them the most. I didn't know it, because I wouldn't say I turned my back on my demonolatry, but it was more so that I was trying to do things in a structural manner. Like, this is right, this is wrong. I'm in a religion, da da da. No, no, it's what you make of it, because I'm the witch. But anyway, that's no tea, no shade. But And I remembered as I was waking up, I don't even remember going to Cabrini, which is a hospital in Louisiana, Alexandria. I didn't even remember going into evaluation. I don't remember none of this. So when I woke up to being in a hospital, I was kind of distraught. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Why am I here? What did I do? Like, I feel so out of whack. But I will tell you who didn't leave me in lack, or who didn't leave me out of whack, was God and Goddess, Santa Muerte, my ancestors. The experience that I had in Longleaf Hospital, and I will shout them out. The experience that I had in Longleaf was beautiful. And it's weird to say because when you're in that mental hospital, you trying to get yourself together. But to me, it was beautiful. It was beautiful because I had two. I think I had a book that I kept with me, The Power of Psalms, which is by Anna Rivera. I kept that book with me because I needed it. I needed something to keep me together while I was just trying to figure out what the fuck did I do? Why did I get here? What was needed for me to gain to a higher perspective? I'm so glad y'all, when I tell you if I feel the need to, I'll show y'all that book. But I'm so glad that I had that book. And there will be some days I'll read it and some days I wouldn't. But I'm glad I had that book because it helped me together. Now, the interesting part is I do a lot with Saint Michael. And I deal with a lot of, La Santísima Muerte and my ancestors in Nianfumbe, all that, whatever. I was I was blessed. I was blessed. It was a blessing in disguise, let's say that. Because the guy that I knew, his name was, I think they called him Jacob, but now I don't know how, I don't even know why, but he came to me in the presence of Saint Michael. And this has been with me since I was 23, 22, 21, might have been 20, 22 if I'm not mistaken. But back then, I remember even back then when I was in Shreveport, I was headed to work, just feeling out of it, like I gotta get to work. I don't know how I'm gonna get to work, but there was this guy that stopped me in my walk, and he literally introduced himself as a soldier of Saint Michael, or he might have called himself Saint Michael, and he told me this. He was like, "My brother, you go through so much," and he literally gave me a hug, and I was like, "I have never met an individual like this. This is weird. He may try to kill me, but that stuck with me even then." So when I got to the mental hospital, me being me, I'm like, I want to talk to my mama. I need to hear my mama's voice. I needed to hear my cousin's voice. I needed to hear the people that I know that got me. Where are they? Are they okay? I wasn't worried about me in a sense, but it was more so that when I ended up in the mental hospital, it was like spirit was like, okay, you got to take care of yourself. But I didn't know how. And, thank God for those 7 days, I had a lot of food to eat. I didn't have to worry about nobody bothering me. I was very, because I automatically have a guard up. When people meet me, not only is because I'm shy, but I'm very careful of who I keep around me now. Let's say that. And honestly, being in a mental hospital, I don't want all these energies around me, but it was what it was. So, okay. So the Jacob guy, he was like, I don't know what practice he was into, but I'm not gonna say he's a nutcase. Now let's get that stigma out the way. Not all people that you think are crazy are crazy. Let's say that. Because I was considered crazy even before I even went to the mental hospital. But this man was so attuned to Saint Michael. I'll give y'all an example. Now I stayed there for a week and a day. I think it was 8 days that I stayed at Longleaf Mental Hospital. So I did a little bit of Reiki for him at the facility. Yes, I did. Like we was outside smoking a cigarette, and we was talking about something. Like it was a lot of people that came where there was a lot of people to come around me at that time. It was Jacob. Um, I can't think of the other people's names, but the chick, her name is Angel. Um, Gabby and Brian. These were the 3 or 4 people that I kind of connected with. When Jacob was leave, like when you're at a mental hospital, and especially if it's not severe, you're not gonna be there long. So as you're doing your therapy, you get your release date, and I'm thinking that I was gonna at least be home about 3 days. No, that was like you're staying home. You're staying for a week. It didn't give me any type of discouragement, but I was kind of worried. I was like, oh, okay, that gives me some thinking time. But I was constantly calling my mom and my I was constantly calling my mom and my cousin and them just to give me support because it's like I was feeling lost. And thank God that I had my support team with me because they was like, when you went off Kendrick, that's my real name. That's why I kind of resonate heavy with Kendrick Lamar because he's Kendrick Lamar and I'm Kendrick, Papa Ken the Brujo. But anyway, whatever. Um, there was a lot of people that like I said, those 4 people that I connected with at that mental hospital, they were very, very spiritual. There was some witches that that I came across, but for some reason they looked up to me like I was like a mentor or like a I don't know what they looked up to me as, but they the impact must have been wonderful because I think about them often, and sometimes there was one individual that stuck out from the rest. His name was Brian. Well, Mr. B as we used to call him. Mr. B was so 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 wise, and he was white. He was a white guy, but he was very very knowledgeable into the esotericism and occult. This man knew about Satan, Lucifer, the 7 archangels. As he would refer them as Willie Nelson's song, "The 7 Spanish Angels." I don't know if y'all ever heard of that before, but that's a great reference to the archangels. But he told me that, and even in a balanced state, he told me, what makes you think that you're not anointed? What makes you do you know you're anointed? Do you know you're taken care of? And I broke down because I felt that at that point in time in my life that God, Goddess, my ancestors, Santa Muerte, I felt very, very low at that time. I felt like I was not supported. I felt that I did wrong. I fucked up my life. I fucked up everything. But after that, I'll tell you how this. The day before I left, or the day that I got the day for my release, there was a lady that came to me, and I knew what she was gonna come for me for, but I had like this. Okay, the mental hospital, the one that I went to was set up like this. You get up early, you take your medication, you chill out a little bit, you go outside, smoke your cigarette, chill out, do a little bit of art activities, kind of vent, just see nature, go outside, all while I'm surrounded by junkies, I'm surrounded by cokeheads, I'm surrounded by Basically, it was just like me. We were like a lot of us in that facility at that time was very mentally unstable. Some form of abuse happened, some form of substance abuse happened, like me, when I kind of went overboard with my, with pills and all that. I went overboard. I really went overboard, but that was I think the fact of me going overboard was the fact that I could not express myself to this one person, and I was feeling like my back was against the wall. So all I knew internally was just to take this, take that, drink this, smoke this, smoke that. I was all over the place. So I was no different. But oh, and another character that I want y'all to pay attention to, her name is, what was her name? Was it Miss Brenda? I think her name was Miss Brenda. Yeah, but she was an older chick. But I'm gonna give y'all her story in a second. So Brian and Angel, they were connected. She was Angel. She was a very cool chick. She was spiritual, but she was just learning her path. Like I said, Jacob, which is the dude that reminded me of Saint Michael, he was, nah, no doubt he had his, let's say, his chemical balance imbalances, I'll say. But with Mr. Bryan, he was a higher aspect of healing to me because one day I remember that they had me on Seroquel for my sleep because I still I kind of struggle with sleep at times. That's just due to my Aquarian nature. I don't get up regularly. I don't do the time, like, oh, what time is it? I don't do that quite often. But you know, when I get up, I get up, and when I'm up, I'm up. But anyway, so one day in particular, Angel was telling me that she was leaving. And I was like, okay, that's good. So what do we was talking about what you plan on doing when you get out. I can't remember exactly what she said. Don't ask me, cause child, I don't even remember. Baby, that was a year ago. But anyway, one day, all of like her ain't like it was me, Angel, I think it was Michael too, and Mr. Brian. But we was all outside and we was smoking a cigarette. And me being me, I'm literally stuck in a mental fucking hospital thinking, what the fuck, what did I do with my life? But I was kind of going with it. But I actually started embracing it because, we started talking about spirituality. And, I'm with the shits. So, as I told them, I am a witch. I said it loud and proudly. I'm a witch. I'm a brujo. I do hoodoo. And that's when they started flocking to me. Not flocking as like celebrity status, but it was just more so that these people kind of, you knew these people needed help. So I needed to I needed to release, and they needed to release as well. But for some reason, when I said that, they started coming to me for readings. I was like, oh shit, here we go. Why did I do that? Now I'm thinking with me being under Seroquel and having to take these crazy ass medications, that my abilities would be off. That was quite the contrary. My abilities even now has tripled. Like if you was to ever wanting to challenge yourself when it comes to spiritual concepts or divination, don't use cards. Try to use other methods because that kind of leads into like we'll just skip a couple days because the rest of the time that we was there it was cool. But I'm gonna skip y'all to the last day that I was there. Okay. So I remember that my case manager, she wanted me to talk to the nurse, And, even the nurse that particular day, she really wanted to get my attention. She was like, before you go home, me and you need to talk. And, it's just to reevaluate, blah, 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 blah. Little did I know, she wanted a reading. And me being doubtful, I was already distraught. I was like, what the hell? Like, you want me to do what? I'm already half, me thinking I'm half batshit crazy and you want me to read you? Girl, you want this energy on you? But I paid it no mind. I took her hand. And I remember it like it was yesterday. It was something about, I'm going to keep that confidential actually. But it went in depth. And she told me that, there was some issues that came from her childhood that I spoke about. And she confirmed, and she was like, you know, I think even then is when I found, like, I think my purpose was, my actual purpose is to help people in need. Like, and I know I'm a healer, we know this, but Spirit really brought it to my attention that yes, you are anointed, and now you know why you're here. You were here for a reason. You had to suffer because through the pain that you endured, now you know what to do when it comes to other people. Because I will tell you, there's a lot of people that need help. When I needed help and I received the healing that I needed from other people, I can do that as well. And so appreciative of the people that I have in my life. Had they not told me anything, had not Todd told me how he felt, had not my aunt took me in after my mom kicked me out, had not Santa Muerte still had my back, even though with my shits I'm still a learning individual. I promise y'all, I would not be here. I would have not been here. There's no way I would have been here. So I take, and the reason why I'm taking this in such a light spirit is because from 361 to 365 days of just trying to find myself, I'm so grateful and so happy that Spirit led me here and to never let these things go, like my values, what is important to me. Never to let a motherfucker ever have my power again, because when you, I'm not saying that it was Todd, but whenever you fall for something, not all things that glitters is gold. And I'm so glad I know that now, because now I know what I can choose, or when to learn to walk away, or when to leave things alone. I'm so proud of that. So this is just I guess you can say this is a little bit of a testimony, like as to like what happened last year, because I'm pretty sure people was like, what's going on, what's going on, what happened? That's what happened. I told Chick what I felt. The guy was angry. I felt paranoid. I went way out of my rockets and I snapped. And when I snapped in front of my mom. I almost attacked my sister. I cursed out my niece. I was on a rampage. I was on a very, very rampant rampage. And it was hard. I wouldn't even, at this point, because I cannot remember exactly what I did. I can tell you this: I'm making strides to heal what I did, though, and to forgive myself and know that I just had an experience, and it's okay to feel how I feel, you know? So if anyone out there is suffering through mental depression, mental anxiety, incest, dealing with childhood trauma, you know what I'm saying, abuse from your relatives, you can come to me. You can email me. Um, and if you ask for it, I can write it down in the description. But I'm on social media. Just look for me, child. But anyway, I said all that to say is that all is not lost, and usually there's always a brighter day ahead. So don't ever give up if you're dealing with, as like me, if you're dealing with mental depression, mental anxiety, and not even in a grand scheme of things, because we all need healing. But my heart goes out to each and every last one of y'all that goes through these cycles, that goes through these moments of depression, not knowing exactly who you are, why you feel this way, why you do some of the things you do. It's okay. It is okay to be. It's okay not to be okay. You feel me? So I kind of wanted to leave y'all with that and give y'all a message of encouragement. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy is coming in the morning. I'm going to say that again. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy will always come in the morning. So this is your boy Papa Ken. I just wanted to release that and just get that out my chest. I am going to go rest now. But yeah. So y'all be good, okay? Peace.